Welcome to the Dave and Beeks Show. My name is Jerry Beeks, and this is the podcast for your punk ass.
Why even when African Americans or black folks try to make money, there's a problem? Do we stop the dude that did Facebook, what's his name, Zuckerberg? Do we get into Bill Gates' way? We thought he was crazy. You know what they said? Why do you want a computer?
Yo, Ron, I said this show is about race in sports, not racing sports, dumbass.
Well, it's the podcast for your punk ass. So while we do sports, we throw a little politics in because it's all related.
Yeah, but how is it a hip-hop song if it's mumbling instead of rapping and singing instead of scratching? It's the Dave and Beeks Show. It's the Dave and Beeks Show. It's the Dave and Beeks Show. It's the Dr. Dave and Beeks Show.
Because of that guy with the Agent Orange, a.k.a. President Donald Trump. If you want to change racism, I need my white folk to stand up. Agent Orange almost like unlocked what was fought against 40 years ago. Not eliminated, just buried. Picked up a shovel, dug it open, and it's coming out.
I think it's pronounced Chiwetel Ejiofor. That's a great name.
You might not pay $4.95. I know I'm not paying it, but somebody will pay $20 also for flip-flops.
He might have started with 2 chains, but he got the whole damn jewelry store by now.
Yeah, this is the podcast for your punk ass. It's still real.
It's the Dave and Beeks Show. It's the Dave and Beeks Show. It's the Dave and Beeks Show. It's the Dr.
Hey everybody, this
Dave
is
and Beeks
Dave
Show.
Canton. Welcome to the show. What's up, my man Beeks?
What's up, my friend?
Well, we here putting it down, the Dave and Beeks podcast, the podcast for your
Punk ass. So before we get started, Dave, tell them who you are and what we came to do.
This is going to be the only podcast we have a radio show host with a PhD in history.
Excuse me?
So all those other sports talk journalists talking about race, talking about sports, I'm telling you right now, they don't know what they're talking about. Because here at the Dave and Beeks Show, we put on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
This race, this sports will make you think, will make you laugh.
Yeah, so don't be afraid, all right? There's nothing to fear here. What we're going to start out with today, our first topic, is going to be baseball. The lack of African-American players in the major leagues today. So, David, in your humble opinion, is there a reason for this? Are there specific reasons why there's a lack of African-American baseball players in the major leagues today? And if so, what are those reasons?
We all know there's 3 major things we don't talk about with why baseball is not popular or as popular with African Americans. When Jackie Robinson entered the league in 1947, there was this thing called suburbanization, where whites left cities to the suburbs, which means what? All the resources went out to the suburbs. Little League is not free. It costs money. It takes time. We also know by the 1980s, when African Americans were 18% of the league, we have also the mass incarceration. Now, I was 13 years old in 1981. I grew up and loved baseball. I'm 6'7", my layup stinks, but baseball was my thing. Because remember, the NBA Finals games were on telecast, tape delay. Yankees on every single day. I'm a huge Yankee fan. My dad was a baseball fan. I was a baseball fan. My friends and I used to argue Yankees versus Mets every day, all summer. Baseball every day. Right? Bats, balls, statistics, we argued. My man Beeks was a Mets fan. Right? And when the Yankees were good, the bets were bad. When bets were good, the Yankees were bad. Went back, and then finally we both made the World Series. We all lived in different places of the world. But nevertheless, let's get back. Mass incarceration. In 1979, there were about 300,000 prisoners. Today it's 2.3 million. So I'm arguing that I grew up in New York, stop and frisk. There are a lot of young guys my age who might have played baseball, got caught up, got sentenced for carrying drugs, nonviolent crimes, who might have been interested in baseball, was not there to teach the game to their young person.
Really?
I believe that. Thousands of these African-American males getting locked up for nonviolent offenses. So then you have young guys who don't, and baseball is where you need the coaching and all this other stuff. Next, jobs. We also see that when I came up, most of the fathers worked for the city, worked 9 to 5. They had time on the weekends to coach, practice ball 2 days a week, coach on the weekends. But we also know in the last 30 years, those jobs are disappearing, and what's left are what? McJob, McDonald's, I'm part-time at Arby's, I'm part-time at Macy's, I'm part-time at J.C. Penney's. I don't have time to coach. I don't have time to take a break. I don't have the money to pay for Little League. So we see all those what they call structural forces. There I go academic again. Structural, right? The economy, mass incarceration, suburbanization. So in these cities, you have what? Less money, less resources. And we see now baseball with travel teams. Another thing that developed in the last 30 years. When we were kids, you went to high school, you hit 400 at whatever high school in Brooklyn, you might get picked up or get drafted. Now it's all about the travel teams, and that cost hella much. That's $4,000, $5,000. So you find that most black major league players are middle class. Derek Jeter's dad, doctor. These kids have Derek Fowler played in North Atlanta. That's where the resources are in Atlanta. So we see that there's an economic issue that exists in baseball that we see why that has a disproportionate impact on black players. I also think you find that for many scouts, they just believe black athletes are in football and basketball. So if you're hitting 400 in the Atlanta Public League of Philadelphia, that's not real baseball. That's like playing hoops in like Western Montana and getting a triple-double. Nobody cares, right? So that's the other issue you're dealing with. And then also you're dealing with blacks do play. If you go to the South, Atlanta, Birmingham, ain't that right, Beeks? You went to Alabama State. Yeah. Right? You go down and there's old Negro League, great people around. They love baseball.
They love it.
But the talent pool and the resources is not the same as a suburban league in Birmingham. It's not the same suburban league outside of New Orleans. It's not the same caliber baseball. So we find that those are the economic realities that exist. And we also know baseball, we talk about traditional game. You ever heard of President Donald Trump tradition? Let's make America great. Let's make America white again. Apple pie. That has a lot of connotations. Segregation, get in the back of the bus, just play ball, don't speak, don't get tattoos, don't bring hip-hop in the locker room. We have a traditional, i.e., old white dude crowd.
Don't steal bases.
Pull your pants up. You know what I mean? Remember Ken Griffey Jr. wore his hat backwards and folks went crazy? Now they miss Ken Griffey Jr. These folks are crazy. You know what I mean? That's the problem with baseball. You know, so you find that these simple things, this tradition, American tradition, some interpret it as white American tradition. Now, again, I'm not calling black players that play white. We're not going to fall for that game. We're just saying there's a culture of baseball, and I don't want to be dealing with that, right? If you go to the locker room in baseball, you're probably hearing some merengue and some, I don't know what, a Katy Perry, I don't know what they listen to. NFL, NBA, you hearing some 2 Chainz, and you know how the rest goes down. And I think also with baseball, since they play in the summertime, they can't get into like the hip-hop videos because they're busy working 6-7 days a week. And the final point also with this is the academies in Latin America. The reality is that's just cheap labor. It's that simple, right? We know with Dominican Republic, they build these academies. The kid's not going to school. Let's keep it 100. Now, what do you get in return? You get a bed, you get baseball, but for those thousands of kids, maybe 5 make it, thousands don't make it. But it's a free labor pool for MLB. Now, MLB has something called the RBI, the inner city program they started in like 1989, reviving baseball in inner cities. Now, they spend about $30 million. Yes, there have been some people that play, CC Sabathia of the Yankees, Jerry Rollins, former MVP for the shortstop for the Philadelphia Phillies. But the reality is, if you want to go from 7% to 10% in baseball, baseball would have to spend triple the amount they spend. So how about this scenario? What if we took some money, come back here to the BX to the Bronx, and everything is paid for? Uniforms, tutoring, travel to play ball in the summertime, new cleats. You bring in some baseball players, pay the coaches, pay for everything. I guarantee you'll increase the amount of player participation. Yo, man, where'd you get those cleats? Free? Yo, Mom, there's a free baseball clinic and there's after-school tutoring. Free? Sign me up. Yo, we just went to Puerto Rico to play ball. What? How much? Free. And there's also tutoring. There's all types of things. All of it is free. You just have to show up.
Yeah, but are the kids into baseball like that? I mean, they look at NBA players and, NBA players are cool. NFL players are cool, But baseball, are they really, do they look at baseball players? Do baseball players have that same type of appeal?
Yeah, baseball dudes are just, some would say they corny. I mean, that's the reality, right? If they walked up, you wouldn't know them. They're not in the club. Again, I think because they play in the summertime, they're not around. And I think you don't have to, again, it's like I said earlier, all African-Americans are not from the inner city. All African-Americans are not a particular way. But I just think baseball have a marketing issue, right? But I think also NBA, go back to basketball. Who were the first original ballers? Jewish Americans. It's a game for poor kids because Jewish American players couldn't get into the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant club and play football, so they played basketball. Goldstein to Goldsmith for the layup, right? Come on now. You see what I mean? The Harlem Globetrotters was founded by Abe Saperstein. Come on now, 1926. So when African Americans migrated to the cities after World War I, World War II, you mean if I play ball, I can go to City College for free? You're damn right. And guess what happened? Basketball becomes that tool out. Yeah. And then everyone plays. There's an expectation. It doesn't cost you as much as baseball. And we see that, right? So you went to college, went to NBA, then over time, boom. Just look at the old 80s NBA, you see like 6, 7, 8 white players. Look at college football in the 70s. What changed that was University of Miami, right? When they started going to the quote-unquote hood to get these ball players, and that's changed. So I think with baseball, the challenge is, again, they'd have to spend an inordinate amount of money. But why, when I got the academies in the Dominican Republic, I spend a third of that, right? The kids don't, here you have to legally go to schools for 6 hours. You can't play baseball 6 hours a day. Now, the RBI, they do have access, but again, I just think it's not the same because think of mine, there's kids in the suburbs that have, like Bryce Harper, have more money for resources for training. So the academies are open, you can go, but I guarantee you it's not the same. High-level training, elite coaching, it's there, I'm doing something. If 2 make it, that's fine, but it's not the same as, the suburban academies, the suburban access.
Strike 3, you're out.
Hooray, hooray, the time has really come. Hooray, hooray, the time has really come. Cleveland got Larry Doby, Brooklyn's got Jackie Robinson. Now the pitcher got scared, let Jackie walk. He stole second and third and come home on a walk. Hooray, hooray, time has really come. Cleveland got Larry Doby, Brooklyn's got Jackie Robinson. Doby in the outfield, letting nothing get by. Jackie hitting so safe, you swear the ball had eyes on. Hooray, hooray, time has really come. Cleveland got Larry Doby, Brooklyn's got Jackie Robinson. Everybody.
Dave, a few months back during the World Baseball Classic, which I enjoyed watching, it was very entertaining to watch. I was actually trying to hypothetically put together an all-African-American team in my head. And while I had an abundance of outfielders, plenty of outfielders, I actually had too many outfielders. I was hard-pressed, though, to put together an infield, a pitching staff, and I'm still looking for a catcher.
Well, look at it. It's almost like with football. Remember back in the day, we couldn't play quarterback. We couldn't play middle line, the thinking positions. Yes. So I think with baseball, if you 6'4", 6'5", they're not going to have you pitching. Put them in the outfield, athleticism, because all black people are athletes. Look, I'm 6'7". I can't dunk a lick. Yeah. Speed. I ain't got no speed. I was tight end at Truman High School. I ran a 5'2", 40 at Morehouse. What? I'm slow as dirt. Don't believe the hype. You see? So I think for black, if you're 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", get them in the outfield. What are you doing pitching? Right? And then, of course, and regardless of where I think with catchers, you wear your knees out. So I just think it's all those factors we see coming up. So there's so many intricate things. We're talking about race and sports. If you listen to this podcast, you will get a lecture without paying the high tuition at Connecticut College. You get this for free, hopefully right now, not too long. But you will see that you're going to get the lesson. So we have in sports is that when these coaches, they see certain African Americans, certain expectations, and they put them in these positions, and we see that, right? So that's what's with baseball. So outfielders become a dominant position. Pitching, far and few between. You had Vida Blue back in the day. Remember my man Brian Taylor, number 1 pick for the Yankees. That's a whole nother story for another time. They just drafted this young kid, Green. What was his name? We just said in the car. Hunter Green, 6'4" pitcher. Now he throws 102, but he's also a good bat. And so again, what do you do?
Yeah, but I'm talking about Fred Curly Neal, Sweet Lou Dunbar, Metal Lark Lemon, Bobby Joe Mason, Tex Hassan, Geese Osby. Oh, no, they were all Globetrotters. I'm talking about Chris Chambliss, Willie Randolph, Paul Blair, Roy White, Cliff Johnson, my main man, Oscar Gamble, Reggie Jackson. They were all Yankees.
That's the point, right? 81, it was 18%. 2007, 7%. So what do we say? Suburbanization, mass incarceration, deindustrialization. I think those are the factors, right? We play Little League Baseball. You volunteer your time. Those dads didn't get paid, but they had a job that paid livable wages. They got off at 5 o'clock. They can take a day off, won't get fired. Not with McJob today. This society, you take a day off from Starbucks, you're done, right? So you had that. The mass incarceration, a whole generation. I'm 49 years old on Saturday. Whole lot of guys my age who grew up playing baseball got locked up for minor offenses. Then they come out, I want to volunteer, but I got to work 4 jobs at McDonald's, no time. And then the young people grew up without that adult in the home. Baseball, afterthought, like you said, with NBA, NFL on TV. You watch that, grew up watching that, and that's what happens. For instance, St. Thomas, my dad grew up. Baseball was big. L. Rod Hendricks used to play for the Yankees. Now it's basketball. When I went back for my anniversary in '93, it was basketball. You see the same thing. The basketball, the way they marketed it. I think the games are quicker, more exciting. Our culture now is faster. Baseball games are 4 damn hours long. So they got to deal with that. But I just think, like I said before, if Major League Baseball is serious, they have to increase the amount of resources they have to spend. But from a business standpoint, why? Because if I'm not guaranteed spending all this money. If we get one player to make it, you know as well as I do with sports, it's a risk. So the model we have now is we have the academies in Dominican Republic. We have the RBI. Some guys can make it through. But fundamentally, we're going to do what we can do. But right now, I don't think it's the highest thing on MLB's list.
Yeah, and if you're talking about 1981, Dave, then you're talking about the crack era, especially here in New York City.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy. Don't you smoke crack?
Right. So again, right. So you see that with L.A., New York. We find. I think also with baseball, the seasons. Because New York and up here, it gets cold. You lose time. So Florida, California, and warmer weather, makes it a little easier to play all year round. So we see all of those other factors are the impact of why the percentages are so low. So hopefully baseball will do something about it. I'm not that confident because of the cost, right? Remember, it's a business. We're here to make money. We're not here to, solve all America's social problems. But at the same time, I think that's what needs to seriously happen to really increase it to 10% in the next 5 to 10 years. Now, the flip side is more African Americans are going to college and educated in that nature, but I just don't really see it. I just don't really see it going up to 10% in the next 5 to 10 years. In today's culture of diversity, when we have egregious acts of racism, we do something. That's easy. Walking down the street saying the N-word, that's easy. I can identify that.
Oh, beautiful. When the beauty of it is who you kill. Life is spacious in certain places you never will. Sky's the limit and limitations are given. They'll destroy your reputation, intimidating your women. You can't wave the pain when you go against the grain. When the tide's rolling in and amber waves the same. For separate water fountains, for purple mountains of majesty. Yo, I never fell for the travesty. The fruited plains are above you and who you claim. America never loved you or whence you came. So I asked if America was her real name. Cause she reminds me of an old flame, thy good, cause many brothers in my hood and plenty others are still chasing the crown, but they never took a stand like I stood. Well, who could? From sea to shining sea, you'd probably drown. Thy good, cause many brothers in my hood and plenty others are still chasing the crown. They never took a stand like I stood. Well, who would? Cause from sea to shining sea, you'd probably drown.
Because when you broke, you can be flexible. You see, so racism is not just a black problem. It's an American problem. Klan marches, which are unfortunately coming back, they call them sundown towns. They want black folk out there by 6 o'clock. I'm just not convinced one guy can change a whole industry. Dr. King didn't end racism.
Oh, say, does crime pay? From the home of the brave and 12 years a slave. So maybe you can see what I ain't seeing. I'ma rock till I stop breathing, or at least till my region it starts breaking even. Perilous, I'm referred to as a derelict for all the heathens, the hobnobbers and heretics, cause they believe I'm a breed apart like Merrill Lynch. And they still lynching my henchmen like they terrorists. So proud to hail how we either die or go to jail. We multiplied, then they divided before we set sail. Gunfights in the twilight was last gleaming. Star stripes with cracked pipes, we still bleeding. Gallantly and apparently we sound streaming. File sharing with Watkins Clarence, so what's the meaning? Soundproof with the 4 pounds, so now who? Want to clown their way uptown, it's true. Cause I'm still living here, I'm still living in fear. When all the smoke clears, the flag was not there. The star still spangled while I dangled away. I tried a different angle, the cops got in my way. The ramparts we watch if you turn back the clock. My pants are still sagging while I'm grabbing my crotch. Blew the spot with the bombs, I'm bursting in air. In the land of the free, the slaves are still here. Blew the spot with the bombs, I'm bursting in air. In the land of the free, the slaves are still here.
There's some 70-year-old guy who grew up with Mickey Mantle, who don't even know what civil rights mean, who still think about black people a particular way and is calling the shots. They can hit 700. It doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? There has to be an overall effort and financial commitment, and also rooting out these old managers in these AAA towns who are racist, haven't read a book in 50 years, who are still running these baseball systems. It needs a total, an enema. That's it, an enema. They need an enema to clear out that and start over. But why, when your revenue's going up, the money's coming in, and your fan base, to be honest, they might say it, but it's almost like back when Jack came in, as long as it's 1 black at a time, 2 at a time, who are the right black person, we're good.
Okay, Dave, before we get out of here, go ahead and break down this year's Major League All-Star game being played at Marlins Park in Miami, Florida.
The American League and National League rosters have 32 players, that's 64 in total. But there are only 3, let me say it one more time, 3 African-American All-Stars. 2 in the American League, Aaron Judge for the Yankees, and Mookie Betts on the Red Sox. And for National League, I believe the brother's name is Harrison, second baseman. So I did some research, and I looked back in 1949, the first time you had blacks in the All-Star games, there were only 4. Larry Doby on the American League for the Cleveland Indians, and then 3 Brooklyn Dodgers, Campanella, Don Newcomb, and Jack Robinson.
Now, that's hard to believe, really.
Here's some more stats. In 1981, when blacks made up 18.7% of the major leagues, there were 14 All-Stars, 7 on each team in 1981. Reggie Jackson, Willie Randolph, Dave Parker, and others. So from 1981, where you had 14 black All-Stars, to 2017, now you're down to 3. So the question is, where are all the black baseball players? What has happened in the last 36 years? So we have to look at those 3 major forces, right? Suburbanization, deindustrialization, and mass incarceration as a way to understand the smaller number of African Americans in baseball. The game that I love, some of your top players, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Reggie Jackson. Just go to the Baseball Hall of Fame. You see all these contributions by these African American players. So you have to understand that in that way to really understand why there's fewer in the All-Star Game or in Major League Baseball.
So resources leaving for the suburbs, factory jobs leaving America, and black men leaving society. It makes you wonder how much better this great game would be if those weren't factors. Well, we've come to the end of the show, folks. We want to thank you for listening. Please follow us on Twitter at Dave and Beeks, and we'll bring you another episode of the Dave and Beeks Show as soon as it's humanly possible. Because without you, there would only be us.
The dark brown shades of my skin only add color to my tears. Oh, that splash against my hollow bones that rocks my soul. Looking back over my false dreams that I once knew, wondering why my dreams never came true. Is it because I'm black? Somebody tell me, what can I do? Oh, Lord. Oh, something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? Yeah. In this world of no pity, I was raised in the ghettos of the city. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Mama, she worked so hard to earn every penny. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Lord. Something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black?